Hello, welcome to episode 86 of Datapack tutorial series version 1.21. We're going to be finding the midpoint between two entities. Let's have a little demonstration. There's one entity, the arm stand, and I'm going to be the other entity. And what we're going to do is we want to find the point in the middle between the two of us, and I'm just going to summon another arm stand there. So if I do function find center, there we go, arm stand in the center. If I say go up here and we do the same function again, there we go, armor stand in the center. So it's finding the middle point between that armor stand and myself. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's pop over to VS Code and let's make it now. Right, we'll start with folders and files, as we often do. We're going to go into my namespace function, new file. Actually, I'll have a new folder. Let's keep things tidy. New folder. We'll just call it find. That's where I'll put my functions. And I'll have a summon, so we can summon that test entity. We'll have find center. And I'll copy that one and paste it and rename the copy to find center macro. Okay, that's all we're going to need. Let's do the load first because that's quick and easy. I was about to type load then, that's rather silly. Let's store a temporary value, scoreboard, objectives, add value, it'll be a dummy. We'll save that. Okay, that's load done. Let's do summon. Summon test entity. Summon. Doesn't like the English spelling, obviously. Armor stand. The coordinates. I'm going to run this function myself, so we'll just say my coordinates. And we'll give it a tag. Tags. And we'll say this one is entity 2 and I'll be entity 1. Entity 2. Save that. And we'll go off to find center. This is going to be the most complicated one, but it's not too bad, to be honest. Okay, we will execute as, let's do the nearest entity, nearest, and we'll say, well, I'm actually specifying an armor stand, but maybe you're not. Maybe you could use any entity, in which case let's not specify a type, we'll just say tag. Tag equals entity 1, that's going to be me. In my example, and we will store result as a score into a fake player. Let's call them entity 1, into their value. Okay, did we spell that wrong in the load? We did. Look at that. There we go. Spells it correct now. Into their value. And what we want to store in there, run data get from entity at S, so that's going to be me because I'm going to tag myself, and I want to get my position 0, and I'm going to scale of how many 0? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 6 zeros. Keep that in mind, 6 zeros, because we'll need to remember that for later. Now I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it back in, but this time I'm going to get entity 2. So that's going to be the armor stand in my test, entity 2, but we're still going to get the position 1. Okay, that seems all right. So this is for the X position, and I'm going to do scoreboard, players, operation, entity 1, dot value, equals itself minus entity 2 dot value. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set entity 2 scoreboard players set entity 2 dot value because we don't need it anymore. We'll set it to 2. Then we will scoreboard players operation entity 1 dot value equals itself divided by entity2 dot value. So the first thing we're going to do is take off entity2 from entity1. Then we are going to divide entity1 by 2. Then we're going to do scoreboard players set entity2 value. We're going to set it to -1. And then we're going to scoreboard players operation entity1 dot value equals itself times entity2 dot value. Okay, so that stops it being a negative. And then we're going to store that into storage. Execute store result into storage. Let's use, it's going to be temporary, so let's use ID temp like we often do. We'll store it as pos.bigX as a double. And here's where we need to remember how many zeros we did. We did 6, so 1 dot 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. We will run scoreboard players get entity1 dot value. Okay, so we stored entity1's value and entity2's value for the x. We have taken entity2's value away from entity1, then we've divided 1 by 2, and then we've changed entity1 into a positive value, and we've stored that into ID temp pos x. That is the x done. Now, nicely enough, we should just be able to copy all of this. Copy, and I'll paste it. One more. Let's put a bit of text in here as well. Work. Let's make it sound a bit more official. Calculate x. Copy that. Let's put that there. Put that there. There we go. This will be calculate y. This will be calculate z. Okay. Now, if we're doing y, we're going to want position 1. Position 1. Position 1. And we're going to save that into temp pos y. And if we're doing x, position z, position 2, and save it into pos z. Okay, so now our ID temp pos should have an x, y, and z, and we're going to pass that off to a function. So we will let's just call this find midpoint. That'll do. We will do function find center macro. We need to pass it the data with storage ID temp pos. Now if we pass it pos, it will now have access to .z, .y, .x. Okay, so that seems all right. Let's save that. Let's go off to find center macro. In fact, what we've done is we've actually done this in find center macro. Very naughty. So we'll just get all of this, we'll cut it, and we'll put it into find center where it belongs. There we go. Find center macro should now have nothing in it. Very, very naughty. Okay, now we want to use that x, y, and z. So let's do execute. First of all, we'll do this as a normal command, and then we'll turn it into the macro command. Execute as nearest entity tag equals entity1. So that's going to be me, because I'm going to tag myself at themselves, anchored to their feet, positioned. This is where the macro will be. For now, we'll just use that. Run summon armor stand. Let's say, let's give it some tags. Tags result, and we want it to float in case it's going to be in the sky, so we better give it no gravity true. Okay, what silly mistake have I made to make you unhappy? Why don't you like me? Trailing data tags result. Is there a sometimes it's very hard when it's on multiple lines. Is there a space in here or something? No. Why? Why are you unhappy? Let me take out tags for a second. Sometimes it's the simplest things. It just no gravity. Is there a space on the end? No. Is there extra spaces in here? No. I'm confounded. Summon Minecraft. Oh, I'm not saying where to summon it. Oh, how ridiculous. I got confused because I put it here. Simple things, simple things. We're going to summon it there. There we go. Dear me. Tags. Let's get the tags back in. Entity. No, we wanted to call it result, didn't we? Result. There we go. Okay, so now let's macroify this so we're using the XYZ that was sent before. So we'll say, yes, you are using past data, and we will use it here for positioned. X, Y, Z. And we'll save that. Okay, let's go back. Let's do a reload. Okay, let's do a function. Functino, one of my most common spelling mistakes. Summon. Okay, let's tag myself. Tag at P. Add. I should already have it anyway. Entity 1. So I am, yeah, I've already got it. I am entity 1. You are entity 2. And now I run the function. Find center. Nothing happens. How exciting. Okay. Let's do function. Find center is there. Yes, it is indeed. Find center macro seems to be there. Okay, so where did we have our problem? Who knows? Our summon, entity 2. Yes, indeed, it does have that. Find center, entity 1. Okay, let's check to see we're actually getting as far as the macro, because we could have a spelling mistake or something in there. Say hi. Reload. Find center. Well, we got the hi, but we didn't get an armor stand anywhere. Unless it's let's kill any entity tag equals result. Ah, okay, so it spawned it somewhere. Who knows where? Okay, so we could probably say this is working, but it's spawning it in a weird place. So clearly our X, Y, and Z are probably wrong. So this should be running as the nearest player entity 1 at themselves, which it is indeed, and could be positioned. Okay, what we forgot to do is we forgot to keep the coordinates relative. So this should be relative coordinates here. Let's save that. Let's go back. Let's do a reload. Let's run the function. There we go. You're in the right place now, so it doesn't matter where we go. It should be halfway between halfway between any entity tagged with entity 1 and any entity tagged with entity 2. So I suppose if we summon another armor stand here, armor stand, or any entity, and we tag nearest type equals armor stand, add entity 1, so you will be 1, tag myself, remove entity 1. Okay, so you're 1 and you're 2, so it should be somewhere in the middle here now. There we go. Cool. I thought this was an interesting one. I'm not sure how I will use it. I found it on MC Discord. It was a question that someone asked, and the Skyrider came up with this as the solution. And I thought, that's pretty good. some point in the future I may want to use something like that, so I'll make a little tutorial, note it down in case I want to come back and play around with it, or if one of you guys find it useful. Anyway, that's it for today. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.